Hey, how are you? In this video, I'm going to follow up on the initial video of how to start an insurance agency. At this point, if you've watched that video, you understand what you need to do as far as structuring the business, getting the actual foundation in place, getting the first kind of steps into starting the agency, making sales, starting to build a little book. So this video is going to be about year one, after year one, and now going into year two, so the second year in business, and how you can use the money and the capital and the renewal income to build a stronger foundation and really build out the agency for the future. So let's dive into some of those tips. I want to just point out also, guys, that first year in business, all you should really be focused on is building and making sales. Everybody gets caught up in this marketing and all this other stuff. You just need to make sales. So I'll dive into some more details of what needs to happen in year one, and then now what we can do in year two to grow the agency, build the foundation out, and set yourself up for years to come. Let's dive into it. All right, so as mentioned, in year one, this is something that I got a tip. I'm gonna start real quick before we get into year two. In year one, I got this tip from an agent out there. I was like super into marketing when I was first starting up. I was like, I gotta make all these videos, I gotta make my brand, I gotta start posting and doing all this stuff. All that stuff is fantastic, it's great. Do that on the weekends. That's the advice I have. Do that on the weekends. Don't be doing that 9 to 5. 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, let's call it 8 to 6, 8 to 7, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's the hours you should for sure be working at the minimum. 11 hours. I would call it 8 to 8. But anyways, those hours you need to just be hammering sales, shaking hands, kissing babies, getting out and bringing premium into the door. Obviously, foundation, marketing and processes, procedures, all those things are important, but in the first year, get premium on the books. That's what you need to focus on. Now, going into year two, at this point, this is why I'm re-emphasizing get premium on the books. Now, year two, now you have some comfort. You have a little bit of cushion, because you have renewals. So let's just say you had, and this is the actual numbers that I did, I sold about $250,000 in premium in the first year. Now I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was terrible. So $250,000 in premium, that's roughly about $25,000 to $30,000 in commissions. So I knew that I had a baseline renewal commission if everybody retained, and I felt confident that everybody would. I would keep about $25,000 to $30,000 that I can work with on a baseline, plus there will be new commissions in this new year. So if I sold, I believe that I was gonna be, because it was a upwards trajectory, keeping track of the data, I started to see every month the sales were kind of going up. I had a feeling that, so I had 25,000 to 30,000, 250K in premium roughly. I had a feeling that this new, year in year number two, I was gonna sell right around $400,000 to $500,000 in premium, which would add on top of that initial renewal premium. So I knew there would be probably another 30 to 40,000 coming in the year, but I was projecting. This was forecasting. This is how I've grown the business, guys. Like I always kind of forecasted what commissions and what premium would be coming in, banking on myself and betting on myself. So I started to operate thinking, okay, I will have that 25 to 30,000 plus another 40,000. So I was like, I probably have 60 to 70,000 now, because if I sell this much. So I started to think, okay, the next thing I need to do is reinvest now I need to start reinvesting into the business. Now, how do you do that? The first thing that I highly recommend to reinvest in the business, like I said, more sales. Like the sooner the agency makes more sales, the better. So investing in leads, buying lists of leads, buying actual live transfers, buying opportunities, going to networking events, like reinvesting into stuff that's going to generate more leads. Like that is the number one place. Buy leads. Go to Tudo. Boom. Tudo is our system that we use to generate leads. Highly recommend it. Also, start paying for some marketing. Start putting some marketing ads out there. That's another great thing you can do. Promote yourself on I'm not a huge fan of it, but Google, like you can do Google ads, you can do Facebook ads, those kinds of things. I don't love those. I personally like Tudo only. That's how we do our marketing and our CRM and generate leads that way. But pushing your brand, pushing yourself out there, exposing yourself more. That's always going to be a win. The next thing is hiring people. Now get a marketing virtual assistant. Get that stuff off your plate. Take off any of the marketing stuff. Delegate the little things, the service little tasks, certificates, marketing, accounting, billing, like those little things should be off your plate by now. The first year you have to wear all the hats, you have to take care of all that stuff. Now year 2, you need to start getting that off your plate and taking that, 30 to 40 upwards, if you're projecting 60, 70K, and reinvesting into people, ads, marketing, those kinds of things. The next thing is reinvesting into retention, because now you actually have customers to retain. You have to keep those customers. Investing in a good CRM. Tudo, CRM, boom, that's a great place. Easy Links, at this point you probably should have already had Easy Links, but investing in other customer relations managers, like we used to use Rocket Referrals, I think they've changed their name, but they would send out birthday cards, welcome cards, like actual physical cards to your customers, send them Google review requests to get more Google reviews. It would send them surveys to see how happy they were, and this would really help retain and keep that customer relationship up. So that's definitely something I recommend, especially in the year 2. The last thing is, you want to definitely, focus on the networking, keep generating those opportunities and growing the business. You need to focus your time on the most important things, that your revenue generating activity that you can do. And I do believe that is building relationships with other high net worth, either individuals of the policies you're trying to sell, like for personal lines, or business owners, large business owners. Go into networking groups. Like that's the best thing to do. Just networking, getting in front of, having meetings with people. This is what your role starts to shift into. It's relationship building. And then meanwhile, that year 2 is the time where you can start to pass on some of that other lower level activities, or not lower level, but basic baseline activities that you should not be doing yourself. That's all I got. That's year 2. I hope that does bring you some value, and we'll see you guys at the top. Hit me up if you have any questions, chriscostantini.com, or DM me on Instagram. That's usually the best way to get a hold of me. See you guys soon. Peace.